All right, this is Astro. Welcome you back. I'm here with Shadu, who, little known fact, was actually cast as Harry Potter before turning down the role. So, Shadu, what do we got here?
Thank you, Zastro, for that wonderful intro. We have a really interesting match for you, actually. We have red versus blue in a absolutely dominant ECM setup with 3 rooks, a blackbird, and 4 bombers, all probably fielding dams with a scimitar and a vulture to back them up. Thank you.
Yeah, BAB5 has, as Shadu would say, 3 Macarials here. A Balgorn, a Guardian, a Daredevil, perhaps the smallest team that we've seen so far in the tournament.
This is going to be pretty interesting as the match gets underway. We should see these Macarios try to close up that distance as fast as possible to try to pop that Blackbird first and followed by those Rooks, or otherwise this is not going to go too well for them. And the Macarios turn towards the red versus blue team and are actually getting damage in. The Rook is going down at half shields.
It looks like those jams haven't hit in yet.
I don't know what happened, but the Rook is taking damage. It's going into armor.
It stopped taking damage. Maybe they got their jams in.
They finally locked up and got their damage in there, while the Daredevil and the Guardian is taking slight damage. Daredevil is now taking, of course, more damage, being primaried by the red versus blue team, while splitting damage to the Guardian. Another interesting decision, but okay, that happens.
The RvB scimitar, whatever you want to call it, is way up above the grid, and everyone else is down. It looks like the Babylon 5 Daredevil is gone. The Guardian is now out of shields, but holding an armor.
Yeah, a little bit interesting tactic to go after the Guardian when it should be absolutely completely jammed out and not being able to do anything in this match. Why do you think they primaried him next?
Well, I don't think they. I really have no idea. But they're continuing to shoot him. Maybe they're worried about the amount of damage he's going to mitigate if they were to go after the battleships. Maybe their jams aren't going in. In any case, I'm not seeing any damage showing up on the RvB team, so it looks like their jams are working somewhat.
Pretty solidly, yeah. Looks like that the Rook is starting to take another damage, maybe from one of the Macarios now going into half shields, while the Guardian is dropping fast, though not as fast as you'd expect. And the first Rook is now in armor instruction. It is gone. This could be a match changer right here.
It could be. It looks like one of those jams failed, and that Rook went down like Shadu on a Friday night. The Guardian is now in structure, and no more damage being applied to the RvB team. So
the second Rook is now taking heavy damage. Another Macarial is on top of him, but being repped up. No, he's in half shields. Let's see as the Guardian dies and the repping power is completely gone on the Babylon 5 side. Let's see which battleship they go after first.
The Rook on RvB is taking damage, but it seems like the Scimitar is keeping up with the reps. Meanwhile, the Balgorn is taking shield damage on the Bab 5 team. I guess they're going to go after that Balgorn before trying to tackle the Max.
Yeah, that's actually a good call because the Balgorn has lots of newts which are playing havoc with the Scimitar, Shimi, as the match progresses forward. If the Balgorn has his newts on the Simi, he's not going to be able to rep anything. And as the Rook is barely hanging in there, the Blackbird is also taking a little bit damage. A little bit interesting decision once again to split damage. I don't really understand why they're doing it, but the Rook is hanging in there, taking damage.
No, he's not hanging in there anymore.
Gone! Go! Yeah, here we go, another match changer. This could very well still go for Babylon 5. The more of these jams that they take out, the more they are able to put their damage on to the red RvB team. And of course,
looks like the Rook and the Blackbird on the RvB team going down now really quickly. Once these jams are going down, the Bab 5 battleships are being able to just tear apart these much smaller RvB ships.
And it's a pretty good decision to go after those Rooks as well. The Blackbird, of course, would have been the easiest to kill. However, it's not doing any damage whatsoever. So once that Blackbird is gone,
the Balgorn is now gone on Bab 5.
I don't think they're going to care too much about that Balgorn. Of course, the one thing that it was doing is keeping that Scimitar from repping stuff. As we see now, even the Blackbird is keeping pretty good shields, and it looks like Babylon 5 may have swapped over. Let's have a look where the Macarials. Actually, the Macarials surprisingly aren't burning anywhere. There's some shield reptones keeping armor maintenance bots on that Macariol right now, keeping a little bit of buffer on him.
Those stealth bombers are laying into that Macariol. They're doing pretty good DPS to it. The Max are trying to shoot that Blackbird, but the Shimmy is doing a pretty good job keeping that Blackbird up.
Half armor now, and the Macariol Blackbird still hanging in there. Now the Simi is able to do what he likes without any cap pressure on him, and looks like one of the Macariols has got on top of this Scimitar and is putting damage on it, half shields right now. If they have webs fitted on these Macs, the Scimitar of course should be roasted pretty quickly. For some reason they're still choosing to split their damage, and as the first Macariol dies, now the damage is significantly reduced from the Babylon 5 team.
It's not looking good for Babylon 5 period at this point in time. Looks like they were doing some damage to the Scimitar right now. Now you got me saying it. Looked like they were doing some damage to the Scimitar, but he's able to keep himself repped up, and it's not doing too much. I think the Red Federation is going to be running away with this one at this point.
I think because this is actually internet spaceships and not swords and shields and whatnot, we should agree to call them skimmies.
All right. Whatever you say, Shadu, you are the hero after all, the true PL hero. So we see the Macariol on Babylon 5 is now in about half armor. All of the Red Federation ships are completely repped up, not taking any more damage, and it's just looking worse and worse.
Yeah, this is looking pretty grim for the Babylon 5 team, who started out pretty well. Well, they were pretty jammed out there, but got a little bit of damage in. For some reason now, the Macariol is shooting the Vulture. What are you doing?
I have no idea at this point in time what their plan is. Maybe they just decided that they were going to attack the red ship with the largest tank, that of course being the Vulture, because none of the other more vulnerable ships would make good targets at all.
Maybe they don't have any webs on those Macariols at all, and they just lost webs on that Scimitar.
That could be. All that Babylon 5 ... has left is a final Macariol. Red still has the majority of their DPS left with all of those hounds, and it's just a matter of time until this Mac goes down.
Yeah, it's fairly safe to say some mistakes were made here by the Babylon 5 team. Split damage, not getting the Macariols on the right positions and on the right targets quick enough. Now the Macariol is putting some damage on the Scimitar, and as you see, when it is actually unjammed, it is able to do some heavy damage. Why weren't they there before now? Why weren't they putting the Scimitar down at the start of the match or after those rooks died?
I think they just made some poor target calling decisions at the beginning. They may have realized their mistake later on, but it's too late now. 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. The Mac isn't taking armor damage. He's not long for this world.
This was actually a very nice team fielded by the Red Federation, but of course the Babylon 5 team was not bad at all. I was actually expecting Babylon 5 to do a little bit better in this match, because if those Macs were able to, as we saw in the beginning, get some shots in there, get some good focus fire, I think they would have been able to take down those Rooks and the Blackbird pretty quickly, very early on. My first target would have probably been that Blackbird, though. At the very beginning, as we saw, the Rook went to half shields very quickly. You would have thought that the Blackbird might have actually died before they got any locks and jams in there.
Babylon 5 seems to be a team that likes to try some slightly unique setups. I think yesterday they had brought a couple Nighthawks on their team, which you don't see a whole lot of Nighthawks in the tournament. You also don't see a lot of small, only 6-man teams. Of course, it was Babylon 5 ... who lost to such a team yesterday when Solar Fleet bought their faction battleship blaster setup. And the last ship for Babylon 5 goes down. They are completely destroyed by the Red Federation, who claims a pretty good commanding victory over this one.
Absolutely. Very good showing from the Red Federation. And with that, we're going to pass you back to the studio.